So what I'm working on here is how the foot not only transfers into going up a staircase, but also how the, just the total transfer of weight through the feet. So the foot is obviously resting on the half circle, but I have already it presented for, it's different than a flat foot. If I had a flat foot, the stretch on the hamstrings, everything would just be different. And I'm right now just working on the transfer. So going underneath the heel just in a really light. So, you don't have to get up. I'm going to be doing that, but that's, so. And I'm just, again, presenting underneath the heel. And just to see where the information is going up the leg into the pelvis. And now just working on just that torque where the inside is going down and also then the inside is going up. Just that light twist back and forth. When you're doing this with someone, you really want to make sure they have a nice relationship with balance. I've got John in the door jamb for that reason. If for any reason he needs to put himself where he needs to secure his balance, because he's tall, he would, in this position he'd be taller than the top of my chair, so he can't just hold on to the chairs. So I just put him in the door jamb. And as I'm lifting up the heel now, and he's actually starting to feel the lift versus trying to help me with it, I'm just going up the calves, and it's not that I'm just lifting, but it's also a torque. It's really important that I'm starting to work on how the system totally transfers that information going over onto the other foot. It's very subtle, but it's a really nice move. And two, at any time, I'm saying this to John as I am to you, that he feels he needs to rest, to just let me know, and I'll let you walk it out. So now I want to go in and just put more input into the base, the balls of the foot. So I'm pressing down into the foot around the toes. Because as always, we've got 26 bones in the feet. We don't use our feet in that nice, sophisticated manner. Most people, in a lot of ways, are solidly standing on this area of the foot, even though you have the whole foot presented on the floor. And as you can see, I'm still going back to, as the toes present, the heel going up. How are you doing? Do you need a rest? Are you good?
Fine.
You let me know. And just, it's very subtle too, but you can start to see how the torque of the leg is starting to change. And it really is a fine line of going over onto the other foot. And also, by the way, you can also do this lesson very nicely doing 2 half circles where, in a sense, you're walking, where you're not going up to the stool, you can have a foot going up. So you're working heel to toe on that side, then toe to heel on this side. So anyway, with that, I'm going to have you walk it out and then come back in that position. Just notice if you notice a difference between the left and the right foot, but also just to give your system just a hint of a break. So you're fine with this bearing weight down on this foot, just so you know?
Yes. Very little on the stool.
And I saw your boo-boo, so I'll be careful on the knee. So now at this point, I'm just going to come up and standing. And what I'm doing here is just presenting the right pelvis more towards going towards the foot or over onto the leg. It's really important too to go down the front of the thigh, just to see the amount or type of contractions that's going on. And also to counterbalance, as I'm going into the thigh, I'm going up into the pelvis. And by the way, I know I've said this before, but to me, I'm bragging. John's 70 years old. He's holding a very nice standing. He comes to me regularly, like every other week. But his system shows for it. He has very good tonus. He has a really good sense of balance. He's really working well with this. A lot of people at a much younger age really start to fail with just the general balance and how their system's doing. He's not doing it to show off, but he only has sort of one hand sort of leaned up against the door jamb, but he's not gripping on the door jamb for dear life. So I'm going back through now and just seeing now. There you can see just how now the foot's presenting differently to the right foot from the left. And again, notice that I'm looking at the whole volume, the girth of the pelvis, the sit bone. It's that whole function of the whole volume of the body going over. It's not the chest going forward, it's just... And with that, just walk around. Please. Now, yes, obviously he's helping me, but still right now there's a really nice lightness for the system that I can just lift him up and go over. Now again, that lift, you really have to watch it. I'm not looking for the weight to go over to the foot that way. I'm really sort of looking for the weight to go up the leg, shift through down the pelvis, and down through the other side. And notice too, even though the tailbone's right here, when I work with the torque, it's just up through the tush. Okay, so since you're saying you notice sort of just a little bit of difference, not much, switch feet, please. So now how does that feel? Different?
A little shakier here.
Right. And also, just notice the difference.
Not lifting.
Right. See, also, in this position, your knee almost wants to collapse. Do you feel that? That instead of going up the leg, the knee is a little weak here. So now, since I'm not done, I'm gonna put you still back on the other leg, but I just want you to feel that there is a difference.
There is.
Now, granted, this is probably your standing leg versus the other, so there's system differences anyway, but it's unbelievable when you actually just analyze standing. You think you stand just fine, but I did go with the, quote, stronger leg to begin with before the other leg. So now I'm just pulling back on the arches. Now I'd like your help. I'm going to bring you up where you're actually going to transfer your weight more to the right foot, just a tad. So as you come up, and then back down. And just feel it more that you're actually stepping on the foot versus the knee going forward. So there you go. Feel the difference that way? And notice with that, I can bring the foot back down a little bit quicker. It's almost like that fall that I used to do, or I like to do, where the foot can go up and then fall back down. Because then he knows that he's got a floor behind him. And with that, walk around and I'll do the other leg. Now, is that okay? Do you want this closer, or is that better?
That's better.
Okay. And again, don't try to do balance that, like I said, if it bothers you.
Better balance, closer. For me.
So now I'm just going over on doing the other side. So again, I'm just lifting up the heel. You don't have to help me at this point lift the heel at all, just so you know. Just even that shift of left and right through the foot itself really can work with the stabilization in such a neat way. Now again, I'm just going down to the top of the foot, stimulating into the balls of the foot. In this position too, with some, you can bring the toes up. I don't recommend it just because of the strain that you have going through the foot. Again, the right leg might be harder for someone to stand in versus the left leg. Allow them to rest if they need it. So now I'm going to switch over because again, I want that torque to go up the leg this way. Why don't you walk it out? I feel your right leg quivering a little bit.
Really?
Well, it could be balance, it could be just muscle strain or whatever, who knows?
You'd be confused. When going up or down.
Well, it shouldn't, you know what? That's a good statement. It could be confused, it's going up or going down. But again, that's a neutral. At any point, your leg should be able to go, okay, going up, going down, you know? That's what neutral is. You don't have to commit to a stair. So now in this one, I'm actually stretching out through the right ankle and then torquing up through the pelvis. So it's not that I'm pulling back, I'm actually sort of pulling down.
Better balance on this foot.
Well, again, this is probably your kicking foot, the left foot probably is your standing foot, but still. Now to stand up. It's interesting, if I bring you too far forward, notice how your fingers just start to splay just a little bit. And then walk it out, please. Fatiguing? Oh, okay. How's it feel? Now I don't want you to do in the stair anymore. Now I'm just going to work with you in. All I'm doing here is taking, most people don't stand boom straight. They have a tilt, they have a, there's so much that goes into standing. Is there a scoliosis? Is there, is one leg shorter than the other? Whatever. So all I'm doing is is with the intention of just the heel and shifting the weight over the heel. I could very easily shift the weight more through the pelvis, through the knees, but that's what I'm working on, is the shift through the foot. And now I'm going down to the floor. So the same kind of principle, but just where I'm holding the lower calf and shifting over to the right foot. But when I do this too, I'm also adding just a little bit of a torque through this hand. And if you don't think this is important, back surgeries, knee surgeries, injuries, traumas, all of this, just to deal with the function of just how do I stand, how do I go up a set of stairs. See, now you can sort of see too how much the torque is applying, so the way the foot is slowly coming off the floor. And also just the nice sway of the system. So now I'm going to go over on the other side. Do you feel a difference there, John?
Yes. Now it's smoother.
Also notice right through the lower ankle here, it's hard for me to torque your torso. Feel the difference?
Oh, yes.
So feel, now it's different here. Here it's not so bad, but right down getting into here. There, now the left's starting to kick in.
I can feel that.
There we go. And also too, where this is pivotable, look at how that would affect your golf swing. Just that subtlety of bringing the hands up around as the pelvis tilts and the swing goes and the tilt over to the other side. Do you feel that?
Yep.
Getting in and out of the car, I mean, you know, it has a lot of applications, but. So now I can actually go. You can feel the difference going over to the right, right?
I'm on the right. Nothing on the left. Well, nothing else.
I'll find it. That's good there.
Effortless.
But see, but do you feel the volume?
Yeah.
Feel the whole volume of your lower torso as it's attaching to the legs. Is it feeling more like you've got legs
Yeah,
versus just sort of being one line going up into the spine?
I don't think I've ever experienced that difference.
Now I'm going to go a little fast. This way. There you go, let the tush go. So now feel. Feel how you're getting much quicker now?
Mhm.
There you go, now the shoulders are going. And see how I can just sort of walk up the legs? See, once the movement, the function's happening, the command that I can have over someone's system, so I'm going to come into relax, it's just remarkable. But again, you have to hook up all the pieces. So now when I do this with the foot, literally how I can just sway his system. So what does that feel like now that you're walking with, like, in a sense, two legs?
Everything is fluid. Or correctly moving.
So now I can come in here and work, there we go, on the foot. So as I rotate just slightly the arch and the pronation working back and forth, feel how the whole pelvis now can open up to greet that and come back in. And also in this position now, I can come and work the toes. And even when I raise the toes up, you can just lightly see how that leg is taking that movement. And if the leg wasn't taking the movement, then it would be so much harder for me to do something like that. See how the leg is giving out? And now feel. Feel now how the foot rotates around the leg. Do you feel that?
Yes, it is. Going up on the edge.
Yeah. But it's not going up on the edge where you're going
No.
to lose control or anything like
No.
that. You're just,
Transferred to that side. As opposed to this.
right. Now, tighten your toes. Just curl the right toe or put them into the ground. There you go. Feel the difference?
You're not moving.
No, you're not moving.
I know, I won't move.
So now let the toes go.
Maybe.
Now tighten the right hand.
I'm not moving.
Let the hand go.
That's just forward.
There we go. Now the feet are released. How's that feel? So now walk around and see what that feels like. Yeah, feel the swing of the arms too. So just going up and down, but the whole thing is just coming backwards, how it's not like, where am I going, you know, or where are my feet doing? That there's much more of a, cool.